3. Yo, what up? What up? It's C Talk. Stuff to make your C's walk. Man, finally got my guy back, man. Finally got Maine back. You know this is gonna be popping. He's over there blazing. I'm over here with my tea.
Well, I got some water too. Let's not forget that.
Okay, I thought that was some
man. I'm starting a new thing, man. They're used to me drinking in the morning. We're switching all that up. That's not healthy. My mind can't be clear drunk out here, man. So I've got a lot of ice cubes in it. Got the machine making more, man. It's gonna be a nice morning.
Let's talk about that because I got this machine. It's only $1,200. It's alkaline water, man. I'm gonna sell it to you, bro. For real. I'm gonna get you on that, bro. For real.
Okay. Yeah, because I be just drinking this mountain mist.
Part of what we gonna talk about, man. If y'all don't know who he is, man, I got Def Chef on here. My man Maine Miller, man. You know, he's on it, man. Community member extraordinary. From artist to activist to culinary, specialist, chef, all that, man. And what I really admire about him is just to keep it real. We've been knowing each other since the days of O'Day High School, man. And I mean, I just now had Doug Wren on the show, man. Pardon self, Doug Wren L, my Morris Science brother. He's from O'Day too. So, and then Bobby, Bobby Alexander, he's from O'Day. So we just making our rounds, man. It's a very special institution, what we call O'Day, high school, all boys Catholic school, man. But it's good to have Maine on here. I want to ask you, man, before we get started, man, what's up with the music, man? You still doing the music? And if y'all don't know, man, he was on this track. How long ago was that? I might have been about 10 years ago you was on that track, right?
Oh, yeah, it was definitely 10 years ago.
Yeah. Had one of the dopest verses to come out of the town, man. I love your rhyme scheme on that, man. What's up with the music, man? You still getting down with the music, man?
Actually, I'm about to do a little sneaky little something, a little Def Chef LP. I wouldn't even go nothing. I'm just saying something because you asked about it. I'm gonna just rap about cooking and political shit, and just like it's really gonna be about my life. Just like how you're supposed to do. So I'm gonna rap about that. Certain shit, certain stuff is gonna be funny. Certain stuff won't be.
Okay. That's what I admire because you keep it real. I mean, I think you're the first person on the show. This is a Black History Month Seed Talk moment. First person to ever get on the show and admit that he drinks in the morning to start his days off.
Yeah, man, I be doing the live streams drinking, and it's funny because I know I'm the only person doing a bunch of ignorant stuff, but only talking about intelligent things.
That's how I be.
My grandfather used to tell me, just because you act dumb don't mean you gotta be dumb. Damn it, at least talk about, like, man, all right, you right. And so I try to always talk about something positive because that's gonna keep you in a positive state of mind no matter what you're doing.
All right. What we gonna do, man? We gonna let you take the reins, and you're gonna come up with the topics today, and I'm just gonna add in. We're gonna talk about some stuff. We want to talk about Lizzo. We want to talk about the definition of a grifter. We want to talk about this hashtag Believe Black Women. I think we might not get to it all, but before we get started, man, this is Seed Talk. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you guys are liking, you sharing. Make sure you're getting in the comments. Your comments. If you want to be a part of Seed Talk, make sure you inbox me and whatnot. And if you want to cover a topic, and be on the show, come on, man. Come on and be on the show, man. We'll have to pre-brief, and then we can get you on the show. But make sure y'all in the comments, man, and liking and sharing this and whatnot, and letting people know that we on here at least once a week, getting it popping and whatnot. But I don't know, man. What's been popping nowadays, man, is this whole Lizzo thing, man. There was some allegations. about Lizzo, the first allegations I read was just kind of like, surface level, not no real HR stuff. It was just like saying she's a jerk at work. And then, saying that, they're taking frequent trips or routine trips to the strip club, after work. And then she's, inviting people to do certain things to the dancers, touch them, a couple sexual acts with bananas and whatnot. But the thing is, the article I read, it said these weren't mandatory, trips to the strip club. Like, you didn't have to go. However, they said the allegation is that you would get special treatment if you did go to them and if you did participate in certain things. So I understand how that is. That's a form of like professional coercion. You know what I'm saying? I understand how that worked. And I also heard that she was allegedly fat shaming some people, threatening to fire people, or actually firing people who had gained weight, which is super duper, ironic. And my thing is, now people are calling her R Belly. So it's like people, but these is
I ain't seen that nowhere. Y'all crazy.
Hey man, but these is people who was already talking stuff about Lizzo though. I think this is stuff that we're saying, and I think a lot of people, the reason why I put that post up there, regardless if she's a jerk or not, doesn't give you the right to, to body shame her. But I think a lot of these people were already talking stuff about her and they're just using this to justify it. But this is a bigger conversation about Black women in the media, because this whole thing with Carlee came out, and in the Black community, I think there's two extremes. I think there's an extreme of always believe Black women and support them. They're divine, listening to Young Pharaoh, the Black woman's God, you know what I'm saying? They're Orisha, they're goddesses. And then there's the other extreme where, we're just really hard on our women. We bash them. And I think that with all this stuff coming out, that we need to play the middle a lot more. You know what I'm saying? It's so binary when they're human. They are recipients and survivors of post-traumatic slave syndrome, just like we are. What are your thoughts, man, about this whole Lizzo thing, Carlee? Let's just jump into it, man.
Okay, I'm gonna deal with the Carlee thing first, just because I just want to really, lay that to rest. That was just, that whole situation was something it didn't need to be, right? And it was just sad that they couldn't leave well enough alone, right? The police were ready to just kind of let that whole thing go, but Cass wanted to really push it and fabricate it. I don't know what came over him, because I do know everybody wants they 5 minutes. It ain't even 15 minutes of fame no more. People just want their opportunity. And that's really what I felt like. I don't know if they intended for it to be this big, but that was something that never had legs from the very beginning. But what it did was it severely divided the Black community, because the people who called it out immediately were told, your opponents are women. You hate what, and this be the dangers of these type of things that you just said. There's these extremes, right? And the only people paying the price is us on the extremes. Everybody else is getting views, making money, right? And maybe some Black people's like, well, let me get in on the act. But I wonder how much money whatever the top white podcasters or whoever are just covering this stuff. What if you got a good old boy network channel where all you do is bash Black people? How much money did that shit just generate for you? All the while casting doubt within Black women, because the way it go, when you Black, we a collective when it's wrong. We individuals when it's right. See, Michelle Obama, she Black, but she Michelle Obama. See, most Black women like Carlee. lie about dumb shit. Right? That because that's the narrative. Right? And so when these type of things happen, I hate to bring him up, but like Jesse, right? Where I'm just like, see, when you do things like that, there's a whole thing that goes along with that where they push it in a negative agenda towards Black people. That's the power. That's where we live, bro. That's the power of media. Everybody got a network. Everybody got followers. So it's not hard for somebody with 100,000 followers to get 20,000 people to just share the opinion they got just because it's them.
So what do we do, man? When something comes out like Carlee, and we like, I don't know, man. That don't sound right, man. Something don't sound right about that, man. You know. So what do we do? Do we just say, oh, I'm just gonna wait until I get all the information? Because it seems like you can't just. I just spilt this water, man. It seemed like you just can't come out and say, man, something ain't right about that. Because you'll be like, oh man, you know,
you know what? Honestly, to me, I feel that that's okay. I feel that that's what we sign up for. You know, anybody could be right after the fact. Stand on it now. Yeah, you know, it's trash pickup day. But to me, you know, stand on it now. Just you don't gotta be bashing nobody or for it to be negative to have a certain opinion. I think that's another thing. I think that sometimes we do so much back and forth that we get baited into saying shit that we shouldn't really say, or we don't really mean it in the capacity that we're saying it. But now we got a thing going on with this person. We ain't even really dealing with the direct subject matter no more. Like, so that's one thing I'm gonna say, man, just say what you got to say and move forward, bro. I don't do a whole bunch of back and forth. What I do, I will remind someone on where they stood before, right? Like if I've been noticing you've been a believe her person, and now all of a sudden you talking about women lie because the right person is being accused by women now. See, I don't know about that. Nah, we need to believe them. That's what we've been doing. And you know what? This has more credibility. I'm gonna keep it 100, bro. This Lizzo situation really does have legs. We've been hearing about stuff for a long time, and this ain't just nobody just talking the talk and then get a YouTube channel like Casby doing. With no. They filed, and this is official. And there's people who walked away from the situation who's like, yep, I'm in support of them. That happened. That was the environment while I was there. And then you got the filmer, the filmmaker, the person who was documenting shit. She allegedly has footage. And there's a audio. There's an audio of her wilding. I didn't even put it up because my thing is this: if people want to hear it, they can hear it, bro. I'm not here to come after nobody, but it is an interesting thing how you were made the face of not shaming. Like you said, you're the hero. You said you represent, and you gave all the little descriptions that if anybody else said it, it would be an insult. But when you say it, it's like embracing the shit. All right, that's cool. You don't got nobody. A motherfucker could gain as much weight as they want to gain. What you doing having weight restrictions? Allegedly. Because see, here's what we dealing with. All of them are lying, bro. There's just a Lizzo conspiracy, right? All the money that's been poured into her and her branding. And so she's just gonna get undermined by backup dancers.
Could it be a thing that they can't perform with the weight like she does?
Yep, it could be. Yep, it could be. And you know what? So they need to be able to perform like she do. Got it. Got it.
I
I
just
mean,
think that,
when did we start this? Because you know what? You should have let them know that.
And maybe she did.
Nah, they show contracts and everything. This is what I'm saying. This is official, bro. This is they got attorneys for this. They're not talking just to talk.
You know people don't be reading those contracts though, man. You know they don't.
Okay.
Well, if Lizzo is 350, 400 pounds, but she's not out of breath after 5 minutes, and this backup dancer is too, she got to go. But I understand. However,
but you know what?
I understand. You know what?
And here's the good thing about these conversations. You know what I often say? Sometimes the people just talking about the situations would be a better attorney for you than your own attorney. See, because these situations and scenarios ain't coming up. Right? And when I'm seeing the dancers, hey, I'm gonna tell you this. She can't dance good as her dancers. Her dancers be gigging, bro. These ain't no clumsy chicks, bro. These is like chicks who dance for real. They got like they do dance classes. These are real dancers, bro. That's another thing I really want to clear up. She didn't go and get but like you know Scoop and Scrap Lover were or T-Roy, Heavy D and all them. Nah. You had to try out to be a dancer, bro.
Hold on, man. Trouble T-Roy and Scoop and Scrap were dope though.
I'm not saying that. They never tried out, bro. Because you know what would have happened? Steezo or somebody would have showed up. Come on, man. You know what would have happened if there would have been an open call? Man, one of these, a real gigger would have showed up. Mr. Wiggles or something. Now, yeah, Scoop and Scrap Lover was dope. Man, listen, you're Big Daddy Kane's little brother and you're his best friend. You're the barber. Come on, bro. You got multiple things in your bag. Man, you could cut. So yeah, let's go. Then that's how it was back then. But now you don't do it that way. You don't go and get your little cousin just because they support you. Nah, you go and get some dancers because the company's paying for this thing.
But I also think that Lizzo kind of did herself and her brand a disservice from the beginning, man, from the start, because I don't think she was always just honest about where she was in life. I think that and with herself, you know, I think that she compensated and overcompensated for some insecurity and low self-esteem that she had. And her followers just followed her lead and was like, oh, we're going to stand by her. I think if she may have some footage. I don't follow her like that. I think she's incredibly talented. And but however, I don't really be feeling her music though, bro. But I understand why a lot of people like her music. She's talented. She got cuts. She got lyrics too. But I can't see myself playing Lizzo's music. That being said, from one artist to another, I respect her because she's incredibly talented. And that's why I've always supported her, because she's talented. And it's her job as an artist to go out there and attract attention, whether she's wearing a thong at the Lakers game, whether she's playing the flute, where she's walking around, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, the independence flute.
Yeah, whether she's walking around with her belly hanging out and all in a bathing suit, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think she did a good job. I think sometimes her followers and her supporters articulate her movement better than her. Like, I don't think she did a good job of saying, I don't want to be in the condition that I am in, and I want to be better, but until I get better, I'm proud of who I am and I'm going to celebrate it. I never really, Now, she didn't have to say, she ain't got to say it like I just now said it, but I never really heard it like that. And I feel like if she said that, it gives a lot of mobility for her to be like, I want to be better. There is a different form of me, but until I get there, this is who I am. But we didn't, as the public collectively, we didn't make it easy for her to say that either. Let's be clear.
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing.
It's not easy being a plus size Black woman. We're darker skinned, bro. It's not. So for her to say that, it's kind of like it's putting her out there. So I say it because I'm not there. So I'm operating with a lot of privilege and a lot of male privilege, and I'm not big like her. It would be hard to go out there and be that honest and be like, hey, man, I really do, you know? But we see this happen a lot, though, man. As soon as big women in particular, because big Black women have it harder than big Black men. Come on, man. We had Big Pun. We had Heavy D. We had E40. They're not really shamed the same way. But then someone would say, well, they're not really out there doing the same things that Lizzo's doing. Whatever. I seen Rick Ross with his shirt off and stuff like that too, though. You know what I'm saying? Showing off his belly. He had gastro surgery and all that. But we see this a lot. When big women lose weight, they have a tendency to talk stuff about people, you know what I'm saying, who are still big. We saw this with Monique too. So I think it's a part of their
what did Monique say about people that are still big?
Or was it the other way around? She was talking about skinny people. I don't know. Or
yeah, because I remember her talking about skinny people. Like, see, and here's the cold thing.
Maybe that's what it was.
What's amazing, I'm going to keep it real. Now, I'm glad you brought Monique up. Monique got a lot of blowback, and she didn't get accused of nothing like this. Like, this is just mind-blowing to me. Like, honestly, like I said, Lizzo is the poster child of not shaming, because we can't even approach this in the way and terms we normally do, right? Normally, when things like this happen, it's just up, right? You shouldn't even see, nobody's even saying like, how'd you even be in the position to where this many people can say this without X, Y, and Z happening? See, these are usually the things we say. Now what we're saying is they could be lying. People lie all the time. You know, I thought that we were supposed to abandon that way of thinking. I thought that we were supposed to, you side with the victim. You don't need proof. We have a victim. There's your proof. See, we're not doing that now.
I think that's part of the problem, though. I think that's part of the problem. We automatically assign people like Lizzo as a victim just based on, you know what I'm saying, how they look.
I'm not calling. No, you're not listening to me. She's not accused of being a victim. See, even with what you just said, why are we here? Lizzo's not accused of being fat shamed. She's accused of what?
Fat shaming someone and then sexual harassment.
Now the big story is how people are responding online. I love it. See, social media is the big deflection. What's being said about this isn't nearly as important as what somebody's just saying in the comment section. See, they're the ones we need to worry about. Hey, man, you know, my thing is that this just goes to show how these things work. Right? I'm going to keep it 100, bro. I kind of expect this shit to just like go away. That's really what I expect. I expect for it to literally just go away.
Do you think that sometimes like people like Lizzo and stuff like that, they drum up these things on purpose? This is all orchestrated to stay in the news and stay relevant?
Well, I'm going to say this, possibly. And you know what? This just goes to show the sickery of our society, if that is the case. Just the idea you would even say that, because think about this. we live in a world where all you got to do is turn the camera on and start talking. Right, bro? We could go beat up a dude we don't know right now. All we got to do is just be like, all right, we going to say he hit your daughter. We don't even know this dude. We belligerent, wild, and tripping. But we about to put some shit on social media. We might blur his face. Yeah, you put your hands on my daughter? Nigga, I don't even know you. Who's your daughter? Oh, you don't know me now. Like, bro, as long hey, if we show it happening, it must have happened. And this dude generally did not know what's going on, but we orchestrated it. So yeah, it's possible. But what I'm saying is, look at how sick we are. We'll even do some stuff like act like we fighting over who gonna eat first. We just trying to go viral. Like you just said, we just want attention. Okay, let's argue about who gonna eat first. And okay, man, you cool. This little boy that ate already. He don't care about you throwing the plate away. But he don't understand why you doing this dumb shit. And we sit up and we'll argue with each other like it's really real, bro.
Yeah, and I think that the algorithms on these social media, well, I know for sure the algorithms on these social media platforms, they suggest and they put in the forefront certain topics and certain issues, to just divide us. And this is what I think about, like the hashtag Believe Black Woman, all this stuff. We are being programmed by these algorithms. And the same thing is happening with this Lizzo thing. The same thing is happening with this Carlee thing. Let me explain. I'm not trying to let Lizzo or Carlee off the hook. I'm not saying that. But the way that those topics and that frequency and that low-hanging fruit is so pervasive on your timeline, like you can't get away from it, that's orchestrated. That's programmed. That's intentionality in that. And so, like you said, it's like the most average Black woman, the most average Black person, the average Black man, Black child be lying. They lie. But if you look at social media, we are fed certain images and stimuli that keep us divided on this binary, logical, back and forth, when we should be right in the middle a lot more. However, we can't ride the middle until we really acknowledge there is a power differential. You know what I'm saying? There is a triage. You know how we do a triage when you go into when the medical crew come into a situation, they do a check down. They do a triage. Oh, you skinned your knee. That ain't going to need stitches. I'm not stopping with you. I'm going over here. This dude right here has a concussion. He's going into convulsions. So a lot of times our women and children are the ones who are going through the convulsions in society, and have a concussion when we over here, sometimes we done did the concussions. We are the person who did it. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't triage. We should definitely triage, but there's a difference between a triage and an Olympics. We should never be in competition with each other. Now, all this gender war stuff, it's not happening. I really want us to get to the point where we can triage, know there's a power differential, but also, call BS where BS is smelled. I ain't gonna even lie, bro. When Carlee came out with that stuff, I said, come on, man.
The story was incredible. And see, I'll often tell people, read definitions. Incredible ain't really a good thing. Incredible means, man, unbelievable. Now, we see a bunch of incredible stuff that is unbelievable, but we know it really happened. Like a run in football, oh, that was an incredible relay rate, whatever. There's all type of this incredible painting. We looking right at it, right? Mm. Incredible can be literal, but we also know most of the time an unbelievable story is kind of just that, an unbelievable story.
That's the reason why I went the way, sorry to cut you off. That's the reason why I went the way I went. with Carlee. I ain't gonna even lie, man. In the back of my mind, in the front of my mind, all throughout my mind, I'm like, that's a lie. Just the work I do with young people as a high school principal, I'm like, this ain't adding up. This ain't adding up. However, I know the power in my voice as an intellectual leader and a person in the community. I know people was going to take it. So I didn't want people who do not bear witness to a power differential and who can't, really handle certain information. I didn't want them to take it and run with it and give them an excuse to just, further, badger and bang on Black women. So I had to use some strategy. Even though I thought it was BS, I didn't want to say, man, I think she lying. You know what I'm saying? So everyone paddle on. I'd be like, the most important thing is that she's safe. See, that's the kind of stuff we need to do and that we got to do, unfortunately, as Black men, because we're automatically, diagnosed with the hashtag when all else fails, blame Black men. It don't matter if it's a good Black man, a bad Black man, a conscious Black man, an ignorant Black man, a righteous Black man, a civilized Black man. It don't really matter. Look around the room and blame a Black. Can you blame a Black man for something? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Look, bro, I was raised by my grandfather. To me, being a Black man, bro, it probably should have, but it didn't come with a handbook, bro. It don't come with instructions. Because if it did, we'd never be done reading. We would literally have instructions that were for what word is that? Where it transforms. Like, so what we had read earlier, it's not that no more. How can you really operate like that? But that's the reality of being a Black man. But one thing for certain is going to be your fault. We can always blame you. My grandfather taught me that, right? And you know what? You're never going to like it. You're never going to like it. There's going to be people telling you, you sound stupid. You sound crazy. Like, as a Black man, you got to be sound in knowing nobody likes you, bro.
Yeah. And the reason why I say that is that you have to work with intentionality and strategy based on what you say. Now, that's just the first layer. But I know there's a lot of Black women that feel the same way. When all else fails, blame Black women. And I know there's some youth that feel the same way. We want to blame a lot of stuff on Black youth.
All of that is true.
Right. But listen, I'm trying to get Black people to the realization when it all else fails, it's blame Black women, it's blame Black men, it's blame Black children, it's blame he, him, them, and they. It's blame Black people, period. That's the science behind white supremacy and institutional racism. It's blame us, period. And my point is that we got to stop blaming each other and start looking at solutions, because blaming is not a solution. So, like, these hashtags are not a solution, man. That's my whole point.
Oh, well, of course, man. Look,
some people think that they are, though. Some people think that these hashtag movements are solutions. Like when we talk about this is a good transition to something else you want to talk about. Didn't we think that the hashtag Black Lives Matter was a solution?
Who?
A lot of people, us collectively. Come on, man. Black Lives Matter.
What? I'm gonna keep it real.
It started from a hashtag and grew into what we thought was a viable solution to our problems. For real.
Yeah, I mean, all I do, because I can't really wrap my mind around that because I'm active. So I just don't see how I can make a difference hashtagging. I just don't see like how I can, like, that's cool that I got hella popular and I did all this and that and whatever. And I mean, but I've always wondered like about that, like these people who you're just like an internet activist and you like show up to award shit and now you get included in shit. You're like a motivational speaker now. Like, that's cool. I can't take nothing away from you. But like, what did you do? Like, because I'm not really big on it, but I could always show plenty of receipts. Like, and not even people like, oh, no, I know, nah, forget them. I can show you receipts. And I'm not even doing it for the receipts, but I'm talking about making a difference. Like, what did you do? And it always blows my mind, bro, how many people got so much to say about the struggle we in. And then you ask them what they do to help make a difference. They say, I don't got an answer to you. You ain't doing no more than nobody else. Maybe we could work together. But see, when you don't got nothing to account for except hashtags and talking on the internet and arguing back and forth, see, there's a bunch of people, all they've ever done is just like get shares. And they make money off of it now, but that's your activism. You say shit, but we could never rely on you for nothing. You don't provide a service. Oh, let me guess. They provide awareness. So what you telling me, you've made someone aware of something. Man, I can't with these dudes, bro.
That's worth something sometimes, though. I have to admit, that is worth something a little bit sometimes, bro.
Man, what person do you know who done made you aware of something and they don't do nothing else but make you aware? Who?
Well, there's a lot of people, but you know what the difference is the receiver, and the receiver is me. Is once I'm aware, I know what to do with that awareness. So I do agree with you. Awareness to a person who doesn't know what to do with the awareness is good for nothing.
That's all I'm saying. It
really is. And we're gonna talk about that because this is a great. We could just go ahead and pivot right now. Let's go ahead and pivot to what is a grifter, man.
Oh man,
and Black Lives Matter and other hashtag movements that are used as solutions. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that grifters and people who do hashtag and some of the people that do hashtag movements, they prey on people who don't know what to do with the awareness. They are purposely looking for minions. They're purposely looking for sheep. They're purposely looking for a flock of birds to fly with them. You know what I'm saying? And they're the only ones that really know what's really going on or what to do with the awareness. And sometimes the only thing that you can do with the awareness is provide some kind of financial compensation for the person who provided that awareness. That's the only thing that the awareness is doing. It's just telling you something, made you aware. You can't activate nothing. But what you're doing is you're patting the pockets of this person that made you aware. That's the only goal. But they don't tell you that.
Amway shit.
Well,
Herbal life and prepaid legal tactics where you kicked into it, so that's enough, right? Like, think about this, bro. The best way to do activism now is what I'm doing now. You can sit here, right? Like, I'm on my phone, but if I got a computer, I could put my camera up. I can order off of Nike. Right now, we making people aware of stuff, right? I'm not gonna go out do no activism at all today, tomorrow. Like, this is what I do. So while I'm doing this, we talking about this. I'm shopping. You know what I'm saying? I'm sending emails. Like, it's the easiest way to do stuff. Oh, what's part of this? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a keynote speaker here. Cats don't even do nothing. Cats got nonprofits and there's no offices. like this is crazy. But this is what it's become. Because why get out here and fight for something when I could just claim the fight for it and I could just do it from home?
Yeah, it gives a lot of power to the introverts and the recluses. And that's why they call them trolls too. Like, that's what a troll does. A troll just, sits, isolated, secluded from everyone, you know what I'm saying? And does their thing. And I think that to be
Grifter specialize in attracting them too, because they know you need something.
And we're gonna get to the definition of a grifter real quick, but I want to say is they can make one little adjustment in their whole approach, and they can be 10 times more responsible. And I'm not trying to big up Seed Talk or anything, but that's the reason why every single time at the end of Seed Talk, there's a plan of action. What can you do with this information we just now gave you? How can you apply it in your life? And that's why I added another part to it is what's the homework? What's your homework, based off this episode? Now, don't get me wrong. No, and I'm speaking from a position of privilege. I don't think there's anything wrong with a grifter, to be honest with you. I don't think there's anything wrong with someone charging you. What, man? Listen.
I didn't say anything.
Hold on, wait. I don't think there's anything wrong with a person charging you money for something they gave you. You put a value on it. You put a value on that. If I want to sell you a glass of alkaline water for $25 and you buy it, I'm just saying, man.
Oh, man.
Let's get into this right now, man. We can use the last 30, 40 minutes to talk. What is the definition of a grifter, man?
The actual definition of it?
Because I feel like if we start talking about how
I know a grifter.
It's wrong for people to be doing that. It's kind of like you almost like you're hating on people's hustle. Like you're trying to take money out of people's pockets. And I'm like, people go to the weed man, they go to the dope man for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm not really mad at the dope man. I'm not really mad at him because we put the value on what they sell. That's like me getting mad, at Thriftway telling me that, what I'm saying? The bag of Doritos with MSG in them. Why am I mad at Frito-Lay?
Hey.
Frito-Lay is a grifter, bro.
Got it.
Hey, listen, hold on. I'm gonna say this real quick. Frito-Lay is the coldest grifter out there, right? They got their whole game, their whole hustle on the back of the bag of Doritos. It's called the ingredients.
Right, you got to put it on.
You know what? You can get an app on your phone called Yuka, and you can actually scan that bag of Doritos, and it can tell you if that product is good, bad, poor, or excellent. You know what? I didn't scan that bag of Doritos I don't know how many times, and it says poor. You think it stops me from buying a bag of Doritos?
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. So basically what we're going to do here, right? Because see, this system is full of grifters anyway. A grifter is nothing more than what we normally deal with, right? Like right now, we're doing the snake oil griftation, where I do a little bit of everything. Have you ever seen a snake oil salesman who just sells snake oil?
I've never come across them. I heard about them, though. They really exist?
Well, a snake oil salesman was a person who would sell ointments, and like one would be snake oil. That was like a cure-all type thing, but it was like high quality. Cure-all is going to be amazing, but I'm going to have a little bit of everything. I got this, I got that, I got this, I got a crystal ball, I got all this stuff. See, my problem with grifters usually sell hope. And in the Black community, the last thing we need to be doing is spending our household money on hope. We're vulnerable. Grifters know this, right? One thing you could always get a Black person to invest in is hope. That's what TREF was, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. $13 million raised, $12 million lost, filed for bankruptcy. He was in bankruptcy already when he launched the fund.
Say his name. Say his name.
Oh, Jay Morrison. I be thinking that I be talking about this stuff already. I be forgetting that y'all don't, people don't be knowing. But now he's launching another fund. I forget the name of that. I haven't quite done my research, but we'll talk about that. Boyce Watkins, he's running around doing lectures. Like there's people, look, a well-respected elder got my number to do an event. The first number that come up, Boyce Watkins. I said, oh man. Right? He's an advocate of this. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I mean, come on, man. These grifters, man, I'm not necessarily saying I'm against them. I know that they're not for us, though. And you know what? When you're extracting 13 million out the Black community in the name of Black Wall Street, I mean, Frito-Lay is just selling you. They let you know. It's all the ingredient. There's no hidden language. You right. Get that app. Do some research. I like that you're challenging us to research. Clearly, I guess that the thing is to not research and just hop on board. 13 million gone out the Black community, right? Cat's got a dividend of $2, $3. That took 2.5 years to get. Now all the money gone. They doing another one to relaunch, talking about, oh, I put all this in the promotion. I had to fight this and the lawyers and, the SEC. And I'm all like, yeah, see, the Security Exchange Commission had already put out a report about y'all. They said you was going to fail. You never had a product. See, you're talking about buying a product. And most of these grifters, their product is hope. They selling gold water. You see, you saying alkaline water, that's cool. Alkaline water is cool.
That was a joke, man. That was a joke.
Look. Because I've had it before.
It tastes different.
To me, it do.
It do. It does. It does. It does. It does. But no, I you know what? You said something. You said something that was pretty profound though. And I think is the Frito-Lay Doritos is a simple metaphor. I think it still works, but it has an impact on our pockets when we look at it year wide. If we just look at junk food and period, it does. So it is a positive, equivalence. But I will say this, it's a different impact when you're giving, 10 to 20% of your savings to a church or to some kind of trust fund or a school that's never going to be. And like you said, offline, you said something else that was pretty powerful too. And I thought about this because I feel this way too. When people do it to me, Black people are very, very vulnerable. As soon as we say, "Oh, so you ain't gonna support us, but you support that white man," okay, that's how they get us. And that is a good point, man. And that's a form of psychological warfare, and it's a form of taking advantage of people who suffer from post-traumatic slave disorder. Because a lot of times when we don't want to support a Black person, first thing we want to say is, "Oh, but you support that white man," which is true, but it's very manipulative.
I mean, sure, it's true. I mean, look at what you went to. I mean, right now, okay, that's cool. We on the StreamYard. I guess I'm supporting the white man, so I need to buy whatever it is you selling, huh? Oh yeah, I see you got the Nikes on. Man, if you don't go somewhere, man.
Well, don't you feel the same way though? Like as a caterer, though, in all seriousness, if you get passed up, if they hold you to a different standard, they hold the white boys or the white caterers and establishments. They hold them to a different standard. They let them get away with all the white caterers. They let them get away with a whole bunch of stuff. Soon as you come up there and your apron got a stain on it, they want to get on your head.
Man, you know, my grandfather told me, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. What I always looked at that as is that when you went into it, you knew this, deal with it. And I'm not even trying to be insensitive, but nobody made me be a caterer or get into the food shit. I done fell short plenty of times. But the reality of it is that this, yeah, everything for the most part is probably racist, bro. It probably is. And it's easy for me to just, oh, if they was this, yep. What they gonna explain? No, yeah, nah. But I mean, if that's what it is, then that's what it is. But you know, certain stuff is just gonna be what it is. Like shit. I just had a nice contract that was about to be on the table. You know, hey, it got swooped up real quick. That's the game. And the person who was trying to get it to me, that's what they said. Oh, no, I know about this company. They just did that because of this. That's the game, because if somebody hired me because I'm black, I'm taking it. The same way you gonna hire me because I'm not black, I'm pretty sure I done got hired plenty of times just for being black. I didn't say, oh, don't hire me because I'm black. That's racist. You know, that's the way I look at it. You gotta, it all goes together. Sometimes it's gonna work for you, sometimes it's not. If you wasn't complaining when it was working, don't complain when it's not.
Yeah. Well, speaking of making the comparisons to what happens to black people as opposed to what happens to white people, this is a great segue about the sentencing of our brother, man, Terrence Williams, man. T. Will, we call him T. Will, Rainier Beach. Went on to play ball. After he left Rainier Beach, he went on to play college ball. Where'd he go? He went over to the Louisville, and then after that, I think he had a couple stints on a couple basketball franchises. I want to say the Rockets for some reason.
He played for the Rockets. He played for the Nets.
Yeah,
I think he played for about 4 teams.
Yeah, he was definitely a journeyman. Incredible athlete, and he got caught up in some kind of medical fraud in the NBA. And I had heard about this, and there's some other cats that were named in it too. And I'm wondering if their names are going to come out and they're going to do some jail time too. You know who I'm talking about. And this town came out the other day. I seen it yesterday, man. They gave this brother 10 years in prison, man. 10 years. Now I'm trusting that he can get out like maybe in 6 months to a year with good behavior or something like that. But 10 years, and the first thing that brothers and sisters say, oh man, well, we got white boys doing this. We got white boys doing this. And they only get 6 months. They only give and they give Terrence Williams 10 years. What you think, man? What you think about this whole situation? What's the first things that come to mind for you?
I think that I guess two things could be true at the same time. My dad did a lot of time. I remember I was sitting with him in the day room talking about how unfair this shit is and this ain't right. And so my dad was just like, you know about my case? Right? And so I was just like, oh, well, dog, they do this and da-da-da and whatnot. And he was just like, hey, man, look, everybody got their own case. We're not even going to get into the whole thing that you talking about white people and then you talking about me. But that's cool. We could get into that. But he was just like, everybody's case is completely different. And all you dealing with is somebody's sentencing. But you don't know what happened in the case. Right? Because all you care about is the end result. And right, so because he had did something. And so he was just like, with the time I got, look at what all the charges were. Yeah, it's racist, but you got to deal with all these charges. And so that's the thing with this, bro. Like, there were 18 people involved plus doctors. Like, anytime that many people is involved and it's a federal case, bro, that's just not looking good when you getting labeled a mastermind. You know, this is just what I'm just off of the reports. Because see, what cats want you to do is just say, keep it basic, right? Like, we could talk about the Brett Favre situation. A lot of people don't know. He had to pay that money back and he had to pay a fine, and they're trying to prosecute him right now.
You talking about? What are you talking about?
Brett Favre.
Oh, Brett Favre. Okay.
Yeah, they're trying to prosecute him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, the right person ain't talked about it, but the right person is going to talk about it. And then all of a sudden, we're going to know about it. But a lot of us don't even know, oh, no, he had to pay that money back and he had to pay a fine. Now, I don't know what happened with the governor, but Brett Favre, that was state. You know, that was the state of Mississippi. You know, this was really, man, let's be real. We dealing with a slave master dynamic. Think about this. The slave master is literally dealing with stolen people. But you became property. Some entertain. Some are like farm animals per se. Your job is to reproduce. That's what you specialize in. Everybody had a job. How severe was it to take anything unauthorized? Unauthorized, anything you do without permission. Think about as much of a problem as it was. The NBA is controlled by old money. A majority of these NBA dudes, not the dudes, but the families, the owners, they come from old money. That's what they family did. 18 black men just needed a little bit of extra money back. Now, we might let a bunch of y'all off now, but somebody got to pay for this. We made you millionaires, right? These is billionaires. They got all this bread. So, you know, think about this. These cats, you see what ESPN did? They bought out contracts for $30 million, guaranteed. To them, that's saving money. Money ain't nothing to them. It ain't about the money. It's about the idea you thought you were so smart, per se. That's why they talking about mastermind. Because they want people to sit around. If you're such a mastermind, why'd you get caught? You're saying that to instill that spirit up out of people, because you know that's what cats are sitting around saying. Right? What I'm looking at is that anytime it's a federal case and they give you 10 years and there's so many people on the case where they're like, yep, doctors in 3 states and da-da-da-da-da. I'm all like, oh, wow. So you're telling me all that to really let me know how elaborate this was. And off of that, they're going to make an example of somebody. That's just how the system works. Because they got to protect the interests of these billionaires. They got to deter anybody else from, if you going to do it, You better not try to do it like that. Like that's all this is. It's a message.
Yeah. I think that a lot of times, to add on to what you say, I mean, like too often we know about the benefits if we get away, but we don't know the consequences if we don't. And the whole time, if you thinking about, I want to do this crime, and I know I'm doing fraud, I'm committing fraud, what is the likely consequences that's not going to work in my favor? And do I have the lawyers? Do I have the money? Do I have whatever, you know what I'm saying, to combat to? You know what I'm saying? And it's a hard situation because you already know that the game is rigged anyways. The system is rigged against you anyways. And I understand where T. Will probably coming from. It's like he's a journeyman, was a high school phenom, was great in college, and then got to the pros and stuff didn't work out for him. And now the system has used him for his body and not his mind. And basketball is probably one of the only ways that he knows how to make money now as a young man in his 30s. So now he's kind of like, how can I use basketball, even if it means committing fraud, to try to create some kind of balance? Because this is all I know. This is all I know, this world.
Man, bro, what I think happened is one of them doctors got caught up because they the one filing the claims. Right. And so
scapegoat. He's a scapegoat.
Well, okay. Nah, because you took a, like, you got sentenced. You didn't get convicted. Like, you took a plea deal. So it's not like a situation of, oh, let's put, like, I could kind of imagine what happened, but I know there's some doctors, they gonna hold on to their career. People in them professions, they're only loyal to their profession.
Well, it's easier for the doctor to find the loopholes and play by the rules and not get caught. Because if he's coming to them with a fraud and he's making it look like it's good, because that's what a fraud is supposed to do. A fraud is supposed to be a facade. All they got to do is sign out. All they got to do is check the criteria. If he lied about the criteria, all the doctor got to do is say, oh, you got this, you got this, you got this, you got this, you got this. Cool. Boom. They're
right.
off the hook.
But what I'm saying is that when the paper trail come back, it's coming to the doctor. So somebody had to, I mean, like, it's just hard for me to believe that initially it's just like, yeah, it's him. Nah, you told on him. You told on him. Right? So everything came back to the doctors first. And then from there, you see?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I kind of have an idea of how it all didn't fall on one person, but the primary person who's dealing with it right now, which, you know, I don't want nobody to go to jail, but it's just, I don't understand how it works. Cause it just like, how much time the doctor's gonna get?
I don't think that will get any, bro. There was 18 in the beginning. There was 18 NBA players. Tony Allen, Shannon Brown. You remember Glenn Davis, Big Baby?
Mm-hmm. I don't see how he's not, but you know, because he got some other stuff. Not to even get into him, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them.
Ruben Patterson, we know about him. We remember.
Yeah, there's some other people too, man. There's some part of him. We know who there's some other people, saying that's a part of it too. So, but my thing is, man, it's not as simple as you do the crime, you get the time. Oh, man, they went to witness protection. It's not as simple as that. However, it is as simple as know what you're up against. And it is as simple and complex as figure out how you can use your skill base to make legitimate money or make money that's legal. That legal tender, man. That legal is definitely gonna help you in the long run because you already know they're looking for you to do something illegal. Let me, and especially as a black man.
Yeah, but see, now,
here's the deal. I get this a lot, man, because people don't like the fact that I follow rules because I know what the consequences is if I don't. And I be trying to explain to black people is, would you like the alternative? Would you like the alternative that I break the rules so a small group of us can make it and be successful for a short amount of time? And then I get in trouble, and then I'm taken out of the spot and the position to create opportunities for us to be successful in the future.
Man, see, you're right about that, but that's what you do already. Like, that's the endeavor that you consciously chose. I try to make sure I look at all the little intangibles because that's what decides these cases anyway. So I even look at individual people and what they're willing to do for the community on a case-by-case basis. Like, becoming an educator, usually, bro, that's a lifelong decision. I don't know too many educators who they go do something else. Usually they grow with it. They oh, now I'm this, now I'm that, but usually they stick with it, even if they form an institute. Oh, now I'm the head of it. It's probably having something to do that's centered around education. See, that's a whole different commitment. So you talking about stuff that's normalized for you, bro. You see what I'm saying? That's how you give back. That's how you eat. That's the power that you govern, right? Even if, these gang members. Wait, hold up. Mr. Amon. Wait, what you got, man? Not, man, look, you know your bylaws, what you doing. Your conduct is out of control. Yeah, what you represent don't allow that. Yep, you right. See, that's the power of education, especially when you have the credibility. That's something altogether different, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to take a control mechanism and free catch. We gonna get into that too. Horace Mann ain't a good guy, bro.
Okay.
You know that, right?
I it's been a long time since he got all kinds of awards named after him and stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's been a long time since I've researched that name, Horace Mann. Mm-hmm.
He's the guy who brought the Prussian education system to America. You know, that's what we pretty much do here. That's our style, where we, okay, let's separate them and put them over here and then control them, teach them how to obey. It's the same stuff that you teach us about to go on and this and that. Anyway, though, you know what I'm saying? Like ultimately what we dealing with is a slave owner dynamic, right? Yeah. The amount of money and the amount of people involved that got lost ain't the problem. I bet you, see, by what he got fined, I know he didn't get a majority of the bread. Because now the fine would have been way greater. It's a $5 million scheme, right? Okay, so if you're talking about he's responsible for 650, we know who got the money, the damn doctors. right? But we gonna put it off on him because we gave you a shot, and yep, you done lived in a bunch of cities, and we gave you all these opportunities. Like for these team owners, this shit's a hobby. This stuff's a game to them. But whenever they have an opportunity, throw the book at you. See how they did Michael Vick? It wasn't even really him. But this one dude, my daughter's a dog lover. I said, oh my God. So you done chimed in on this to say your daughter's a dog lover because you're a team owner. And you know, his family, I forgot what family it was, but I'm just like, and that's exactly how this works. So how can we get, and I don't know what's fair. I know that they got the sentencing guidelines, right? And like you said, those are the consequences. This is me talking. I don't be thinking these consequences be fair. But man, bro, I don't.
What would you? Let's end it up real quick, man, because you know we've been on here for an hour and whatnot. What do you think? And then we're gonna get to a plan of action. What do you think would have been a reasonable consequence or penalty for what T. Will did?
Man, bro. I mean, you know, shit. You know, man, I don't know. I definitely don't want to see a brother doing no time over this, but like you said, I understand what the consequences are, and the consequences for this with the way it's looking. Because what I'm thinking, man, everybody pointed towards you. Like there's something that consistently was pointing towards you, right? And so you got all these different situations that all carry the same penalty, right? Like for instance, the identity theft alone, bro, that carries a mandatory 2. Like you have to do 2 years on that. So there got to be 18 counts of that. So I'll be looking at stuff from that perspective. Like, well, what were the charges? Okay, well, what was the time? I mean, shit. Hey, but I do know that, yep, there are situations where more was done and it was way less time. But you know, all I can say is that, man, when you got that slave owner dynamic, like billionaires, where, oh, you want to play with my money and steal from me? Like they show you in the movies how, now it's not about the money. It's about you thinking. And to me, that's what I think this is, bro. And you know, a lot of times the cats is gonna scramble for themselves. They got families and they got situations. You know what I'm saying? These is athletes. Like I'm pretty sure a bunch of them at this point don't care about how things look like. So somehow everything got pointed at T. Will. I don't know how that came to be, but I know it had to start with the doctors, bro.
Yeah, I think that here's the deal. I think what would be a reasonable consequence or punitive, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be punitive because it's going to become, you're going to have to penalize. I think you should penalize him financially. I think he needs to pay back some of that money.
Well, he did. Well, you know, allegedly.
Okay. Well,
they said 650,000.
Whatever money he's being accused of stealing or frauding for, right? He needs to pay it back in the capacity while working in the service of that industry. And we can also
healthcare.
And no,
that's what it was.
I know, but I'm talking about the capacity of like basketball. It could be.
Oh, got it. Okay, got it.
It could be like coaching, but he doesn't get the big, or it could be doing whatever, but he doesn't get the big inflated contract. like a lot of people do, because they get overpaid for what they do. He gets a contract that is more, you know what I'm saying, that meets the criteria for him to pay the money back, and then that's it. If he quits or he gets fired from the job, then you can throw him in prison and have him serve a time. The reason why I say that is a more responsible and restorative approach is because this brother's going to get out of jail or prison, pardon self, because he ain't going to jail, he's going to prison. They're not the same thing. And he's going to be broke. I mean, I'm not checking his pockets. I'm saying it's very likely, highly likely, if not factual, he is going to be financially broke. So we're just creating a revolving door potentially for him to go back to prison because he's going to have to do something else to make money illegally. Why not give him some opportunities to make legal tender, to cash in on this basketball future and this experience that he fell short on? Now, look, I know a lot of other things play a part. I know y'all out there thinking, well, it has a lot to do with his character, his personality. He might not be a good guy. He might not be civilized. He might not be he might not be workable. You're right. You're right. You are absolutely right. Part of the reason why T. Will might be in this situation is because of his attitude. You're right. I don't know. I don't know enough. But we talk about this all the time.
Oh yeah, man. Look, I hate to even say this, but it's easy to be labeled with a bad attitude. That's you a black man. Oh yeah, you probably got a bad attitude. But and you already know. I'm saying that from the narrative of being a black man. Shit, I don't feel that way. I'm a black man, but I do know black men be having to be hella nice for no reason because your voice might be too deep. You might just talk too straightforward. Oh yeah, man, it happened.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I would just I see the revolving door though that's happening. But that could potentially be happening, and I just don't want this young brother, man, to get out of prison. And be like, I still got to figure out a way to make money. He still got to figure out a way to make money. So,
man, you know what? What I think, because see, man, bro, these situations, he could definitely turn this into something lucrative. I mean, we were just talking about it, bro. We live in the age of information.
Well, he need to write a book then.
You see what I'm saying? Like that type of stuff. Yeah, man. Like in whatever perspective you got, they probably, they be coming up with weird shit. They might even have it to where, if you make any money off this, the proceeds don't go to you. Like all type of, this is the Fed. So they might write something in your paperwork where you could do the movie, but we get the money. Oh, you could do we get the rights.
They do have, there is some kind of clause that you cannot, you can't monetize,
yeah, bro.
A lot of times. That might just be when you're in prison though. He might be able to do it after he gets out. But look, that being said, I mean, it's a huge debate. And this is one of the things that you remind me of a lot too. And it's very true. We can't live this life in a philosophical world, man. We don't live in a philosophical world where logic sits up on Seed Talk and says, I got a great idea. You know what I'm saying? Maybe T. Will has been given all the opportunities in the world, more opportunities than Jermaine and Logic put together to do the right thing, and he hasn't. Maybe the league has not been irresponsible in taking care of him. But from the outside looking in, philosophically, it looks like they have made millions and billions of dollars off this black man and black men collectively that perform like him. And they haven't been responsible in setting him up for success because they used him for his body, but then there's nothing after that. Then it's just a whole bunch of high performing blacks coming down on a conveyor belt.
And that's definitely a concern, or to me, I feel that that's the problem with the major sports that Black people participate in. This is just, I've clearly, me and you share the same opinion or sentiment that, and you know what? At this point, it used to be when they're done with you. Nah, they don't even care no more now. Like the ones they care about, they'll just get them hella money and do that shit. But for the most part, it's a straight up and down slave master dynamic. And people might say, oh no, because the slaves in. Nah, it's a dynamic. That, to me, I really do feel that's what his sentencing was about. Like it's like the NBA and healthcare, and I was just like, oh, okay. And the NBA, man, them is a bunch of good old boys. They don't want you stealing nothing.
And it's crazy. The irony, and I'm looking at it from a philosophical standpoint, and I know they don't look at it this way. This is the reason why they're handing down 10-year sentences for stuff like that. It is crazy ironic that he will get in trouble for some kind of health insurance fraud when healthcare in America overcharges people so much for a freaking bottle of ibuprofen. I mean, it's crazy how the healthcare industry and the American medical apartheid creates fraud on its people all the time, all day. And as soon as a citizen tries to commit some kind of fraud to benefit from, a system that is fraudulent, then they get sent to prison for 10 years. But that's my philosophical TED Talk. TED Talks ain't, unless you got, a really good attorney, TED Talks ain't gonna get you out of prison. No. And maybe his attorney ain't really good at TED Talking. Or maybe he was about to get a lot more and they negotiated a plea and he could have got a lot more and he only got 10.
Well, man, I know right now, to me, you was talking about grifters, right? You know who we should be paying? We really need to be paying attention to Rizza Islam.
All right, man. We're gonna have to do a part 2 on that, man. We got to do a grifters part 2, man.
Man, wait, hold up. How come his case got dropped? Did you see his charges? See, but he was manipulating the people. He was getting our children, see, this is perfect for you. He was going to the schools with this, man. This guy got to be stopped. They dropped this case, bro.
You got to have a part 2 because you're going to tell us how how he's really a Scientologist.
Hey, bro, okay. He's a grifter too.
Nah, man, I'm only laughing is because there is some legitimate feedback and criticism of the Nation of Islam and their connection to Scientology and all that. I'm just laughing because I don't know. It's your mannerisms and how you said it because I ain't trying to be on this for another 30, 40 minutes.
All right, man. Yeah.
But look, I'm gonna do the plan of action real quick. And my plan of action, based on what we talked about today, in all seriousness, when we talk about grifters and whatnot, once you get the awareness, you got to get the application. Do not get the awareness without the application. So you can go to these YouTube people and you can call them whatever you want to call them. If they're making you aware of something, please educate yourself on how you can apply it to your life. Without application, awareness is hardly anything. Man, so please,
you guys better stop listening.
That's your homework and your plan of action. What you got, man? What you think based on what we talked about today? What's the takeaway?
Man, you guys just need to stop falling for anything at this point. Like, that's just, this stuff ain't rocket science, bro. We want it to be more complex than what it is, because contrary to popular belief, Black people don't like simple shit. This how come we be like, what's your simple ass? And Nah, we want things to be complex. This is why we like foolery. This is why we like complex buffoonery. Come on, man. Like, you can't be a master of everything. But we allow these cats to come in and they teaching us everything. We got to stop listening to it. And we got to have more accountability.
All right, man. It's been Seed Talk, man. It's been great. Make sure that, hey, again, make sure that y'all are sharing this, y'all commenting. I know we didn't talk about Lizzo. We didn't talk about Carlee. We talked about the Black Lives Matter, the Grifters, all about that. We talked about Terrence Williams. I know y'all got something to say. Please get in the comments. Make sure you like and share. Let people know that Seed Talk is in existence. If you want to be on Seed Talk, you got a topic, inbox me. Let me know what's cracking. Make sure that you guys are donating. I'm going to have Dev Chef or Dabster, put his put his information in there, man, so you guys can donate. $Logic Man, @Logic Man. We out. It's been Seed Talk. Peace.